Leah here from MagicByLeah.com, and in this video I'll show you how to create a smiley face polymer clay cane, which is part 1 in a 3-part smiley pen gift set project. For this project you'll need 2 pens. I like to use the big stick pens. Just make sure you're not using one that has this rubber grip, because that's going to melt in the oven. You'll also need a pair of pliers to pull the ink out. For the smiley face, you'll need 2 contrasting colors of polymer clay. I like to use Primo Sculpey. You'll need a sharp blade to slice your cane. It's my super slicer. You'll need aluminum foil for the base, and a pasta machine is definitely helpful. We'll start by conditioning the clay. Since we're starting with the eyes, we'll condition the black first, just a small piece, and it doesn't matter how big you make it. Obviously, the more clay you use, the more cane you'll have. Since we're starting with the eyes, we'll roll the black clay for the center of the eye. I'm going to cut a small piece out. This log will serve as both eyeballs because we'll start with a mini eyeball cane. So I rolled out the pink using the thickest setting on my pasta machine. And now I want to cut it to fit the center of the eye. Just cut one end, and then position this so that you can just overlap, and cut it a little bit too short. This is going to distort the image, but if we cut it a little short, it'll wrap nicely. It's still a little long. There we go. So that wraps nicely, and this will be the eyeball. Blend the seams together. I like to use the inkwell of a pen as a very narrow rolling pin. Alright, there we go. That's our eyeball. Stretch it and roll it a little so that you can cut it in half to give you 2 equal diameter eyeballs. Cut it near the middle, round out the sides, and then just put them side by side like this. 2 eyes. Now we want to fill around this to give it the face. So at this point you're just kind of filling in the gaps. Let's put a little scrap in there, put another one here, and we'll roll it so that it actually takes up the space in between. If you leave gaps, it's going to distort your image, and that'll mess up your face. Now we want to roll out some more sheets and wrap it around. I roll this out once again using the thickest setting on the pasta machine. Lay this in the center and cut it to size. Looks like I cut it a little narrow there, but it should still work. And then mark where you're going to cut it off. There we go. So now we have the top of the face. The next thing we want to work on is the smile. To create the smile, I have black clay rolled out on the thickest setting of my pasta machine, but I want to make it closer to the thickness of the eyes, so I'm going to double it over. Press it down firmly to make sure you have no trapped air bubbles, and then we'll cut it to approximately the width of the eyes. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because the ends of the cane always mess up anyway, so we're going to have to cut that off regardless. Next I have a conditioned ball of clay, and I like to roll it into a cylinder and flatten it down till, again, it's about the height of the eyes. So what you want to do here is get a half of the circle. So just cut it straight down. And this is perfect for lining up with the eyes. Ooh, it looks a little big, so let's cut that a little smaller. Again, you want it to look nice with the eyes. So that looks about right. And I'll wrap the mouth around this. So whatever sticks out on the end, just cut off. You notice I'm not being perfect or too careful with this because the idea is to be creative and not to make this too difficult. This is a beginner project and it's just a smile. As long as it smiles at you, it'll look really cute. Oh wow, that's a really big smile. Okay, so now you want to fuse this to the eyes and really get that, you know, the expression where the smile comes all the way up to the eyes? That's what we're trying to do here. Now, as you get more advanced, you can get more creative and add to this. So you can add maybe pupils, you can put a nose in, but we're keeping this very simple. Next, we're going to wrap this around with another layer of pink clay. So let's condition that. You can go to the thickest setting of your pasta machine, but I like to go a little thinner here because I like to wrap it around and around a few times to make sure it takes nicely. So let's get a sharp end. Let's get an even end to start. And just line it up with a smile. And then just go round and round. And I like to end it at the smile again, so it's somewhat even there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is use my blade to cut off the excess on both sides. And there we have it, a very simple smiley cane. Let's go ahead and blend this in. Okay, what I like to do now is wrap it with the same color as the eyes and the mouth. That way when you put it onto something like a pen, it has a nice border. To do that, we'll get some more black clay and condition it. So I have the black clay conditioned, and since I don't want it too thick of a border, I have it on the number 2 setting on my pasta machine. Cut the end so that you have something even to start with, and then wrap it around carefully. Wrap it over so that you kind of mark where the cane is. I don't know if you can see it in this light, there's this little bit of a smudge, and that's where I'll cut it off. Okay, and then you want to sort of weld the ends together. Stretch this a little, make sure you have a nice seam, and then cut around to get rid of the excess. But at this point, we're done with the smiley face, and now we want to reduce it. What I find is that the clay you just added tends to be softer, the inside clay tends to be harder, so when you squeeze, you'll have it like squirting out in different ways, and that will mess up your smiley face. So what I like to do is take some scrap clay and squeeze it into the design, because the ends are going to get messed up anyway, but this way it sort of protects the different levels from shooting out and gives you something to hold on to when reducing your cane. If you made your cane very big and you don't mind the ends distorting, that's fine, because you'll still be able to use the inside. Alright, so we have the smiley face hidden and we're ready to reduce. For something like this, because we have a bigger diameter than a width, you want to make sure that you start at the very center and sort of squeeze the middle. And this is squeezing everything out. Don't just squeeze the middle, also squeeze the outside, so everything is reducing in diameter at the same time. Okay, so again, go from the center and then squeeze outward. At this point, notice that this is starting to bulge. That's why we have the caps on there. Another trick I saw is to put a quarter, and the quarter will prevent it from shooting out because the diameter is about what we have here, but then I find it really hard because the outside stays the diameter of a quarter and the inside gets narrow. All right, we're about at the diameter where we can start rolling. I like to do it first in my hand to get it smooth, and then on a clean surface, just squeeze from the inside out, inside out. As you're going, put pressure on any area of the cane that looks like it's staying fat. One trick I noticed is that if your cane is slightly bigger than the diameter of the pen, then something as long as the pen is enough to cover if you cut it thin. If you cut it thicker, you need it a little longer. So if we stretch this out, you'll notice we have plenty of smiley face to go around, even though we probably lost about till here to distortions. Another thought is to decide if you want to have it a small diameter, large diameter, or maybe even mix and match so that you'll have some small and some large and just have a nice pattern design on your pen. Let's take a peek. I don't like to cut on the glass. Notice I keep using baking paper because that way the glass doesn't scratch. I like to work my way in. Look at that. We have our smiley face. Okay. Now for the other end, I want to show you what it looks like when it's distorted. Notice we have an eye and half a smile. Cut a little more in. Sort of losing the mouth over here. And here we go. We have a smile. I want a much smaller diameter here, so I'm going to keep going. I'll cut it in half so I can reduce half at a time, and that will allow me to make it much longer. This one, I may keep this one thicker in case I want to do something like beads for earrings or to cover something other than just a pen. So here we have it. 2 smiley face canes. Notice we lost the end again, but you're going to cut that off. Right now it's very soft. Look how easy it is to manipulate. What I want to do is refrigerate it so that it cools or hardens for about half an hour, and then I'll have a much easier time slicing it. If I try to cut it now, it's all going to get distorted and it's going to ruin all the work we just put in. So be sure to join me in the next video where I show you how to slice it and how to cover the pen so that you get a nice design to complete a project. For a detailed list of supplies used in this project, along with answers to your specific questions, visit my website, MagicByLeah.com, or click the link in the description. I will be uploading new videos regularly, so be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. But for even more bonus tutorials, tips, and so much more, join my email newsletter by clicking the link in the description or visiting my website, MagicByLeah.com.